Good afternoon. I hope my talk today will inspire the youth, especially the girls, as they face the crossroads of choice to consider agricultural science as a viable career option. Join me now as I take you on a journey of my lifelong career path, one that is fulfilling as well as, I hope, beneficial to society. Okay, there are many facets to a career in agriculture. You can be a farmer by yourself, be self-employed, you can farm crops, or you can breed and look after animals, rare animals, livestock production, or you can do aquaculture, raising fish and shrimp, or if you prefer, you can even work in the lab doing more basic type of research. What is the importance and contribution of agriculture to society? Historically, agriculture plays a very crucial role in human history. It provides food, feed, and fiber to enable civilizations to develop and grow. Agriculture is one of the oldest occupations in the history of man, and it is believed to have started 10,000 years ago. In China, millet agriculture began in 7,500 BC, also the domestication of rice, so it's a long history. And agriculture has also been linked to significant historical events. For example, the rise and fall of civilizations, the potato famine in Ireland, which led to mass emigration. The great Irish potato famine was caused by this disease of potato, which is a fungus causing potato late blight. And the consequence of this devastating disease was there was a mass starvation, leading to people emigrating to England from Ireland, to Scotland and to US, Canada and Australia. Also, because of agriculture, people who went to the New World, that is the Americas, they started introducing crops to the Old World. And from there to Asia, for example, tobacco, potato, tomato, chili, sweet potato, cassava, corn, rubber, and cocoa. They all came from South America and was brought to what they call the Old World. And the consequences were is as follows. China has become the world's greatest or largest producer of sweet potato. Cassava is an important staple in Africa. Chili is ubiquitous and common, found in India, Southeast Asia, Korea, other than just in Central and South America. And also the main rubber producers are in Southeast Asia. Remember, all these crops were not originating from Asia. What is the role of agriculture today? Again, it provides food, feed, and fiber which do not go out of fashion. It also provides ingredients for medicine and health. It's a source of industrial materials, for example, rubber, and it serves the ornamental and floriculture trade. Agriculture meets the changing needs of modern man. So nowadays, it even supplies renewable energy, fuel. So the fourth F is food, feed, fiber, and fuel now. Pharmaceuticals and bioplastics. And agriculture remains an important occupation in almost all countries. So you can see, if you use the food pyramid as an example, you can see all of these are produced from agriculture. They are not man-made. They are produced from farming and animal husbandry. We also have natural fibers from silkworm, from cotton, and from flax. Also fibers like kenaf and jute for making ropes and other fibers, hemp. Okay, and we have also medicinal plants and herbs. For example, the Madagascar periwinkle, which is used to treat Hodgkin's disease, which is a childhood leukemia. Also pagaga, which is used in wound healing, anti-aging, and has sedative effects. We have, I think you've also heard of evening primrose oil. It helps with menopausal problem, eczema, and rheumatoid arthritis. Then we have tongkat ali, which is believed to be an aphrodisiac, but it is in fact found to be very useful as a treatment for malaria. And food is also used as medicine. For example, carrots and orange sweet potato, they are high in beta carotene, which is a powerful antioxidant. And beta carotene, when you eat it, it is provitamin A. It gets converted to vitamin A in the body. We also have lycopene in tomatoes, which protects against prostate cancer, and lutein in eggs, the egg yolk, and as well as in orange. This protects against age-related macular degeneration, which is a disease of the eye. As you grow older, you can go blind if you have AMD. Which is also, you can see also this rich sources of anthocyanin, which can range from red to purple to blue in color. These are very powerful antioxidants. Find it in red cabbage, in blueberries and blackberries, also in beetroot, plums, or grapes, purple flesh sweet potato, and in strawberries. Then, of course, there's the floriculture trade, many flowers, and that is a $1 billion market where people export or grow locally. Then we have industrial crops which produce biofuels. For example, cassava, sweet potato, starch crops, which can be converted from starch to alcohol, so they become a petrol substitute. Whereas the oil producing crops like oil palm, coconut, and jatropha, they can produce biodiesel to replace what you call diesel and petrol. Then from starch also you can produce biodegradable plastics. So you can replace all these things from using the artificial polystyrene and stuff into biodegradable plastics, which is kinder to the environment. So what is my personal experience and personal fulfillment from a career in agriculture? What, for example, is agriculture science? Everything actually didn't seem to be in my favor at the time when I was looking for a career. I'm a woman, I'm city born and bred, so people think very strange that you want to do farming. And there's in fact a stigma in studying agriculture science in those days. People always choose medicine first choice, second choice is science, and third choice only comes agriculture science. But unlike other people, I chose agriculture science as my first choice. And my reasons why: I didn't like medicine. I didn't want to face the sick and wounded day after day. That's very depressing to me. I didn't want to do science because at that time, now things are different. At that time, the only prospect when you study science, you end up teaching, and I hate to be a teacher. But doing agriculture, I'll have a chance to work outdoors. I'll have a chance to do research and to innovate. And I'll have a chance to contribute to applied technologies to solve actual problems. So my career pathway was like this. I did a bachelor's in agriculture science from the Faculty of Agriculture in University of Malaya. At that time, there was a Faculty of Agriculture. It's no longer there. Graduating in 1973 with first class honors. Then I went on to do my master's in agriculture science at the Faculty of Agriculture, University Pertanian, Malaysia. Now it's called University Putra, Malaysia. Graduating in 1980. I did my master's and my PhD on a part-time basis, which means I was working all the time and doing my thesis part-time. So I did my PhD at the Faculty of Science in University of Malaya, graduating in 1993. From graduation in 1973 to retirement in 2010, I worked at Mahdi as a research scientist in plant breeding, starting out as an assistant research officer, going to research officer, then program coordinator, principal research officer, and deputy director of a research center. My research activities covered these areas of specialization: plant breeding, agronomy, and crop physiology. And my crop specialties were cassava, sweet potato, maize, and stevia. I also coordinated breeding programs in rice, maize, groundnut, sugarcane, beverage crops like tea and coffee, as well as pepper, and also coordinated field crop programs covering maize, sugarcane, mulberry, cassava, and sweet potato. So I had quite a wide knowledge base in carrying out these coordinating programs. And I served on editorial boards at the division or center level, where we compile annual reports and bulletin technology. And at MADI level, I was in the editorial board for the MADI Research Bulletin, which eventually became MADI Research Journal, and now is known as the Journal for Tropical Agriculture and Food Science. We also compiled MADI reports and technology manuals. Some of the discoveries and inventions that I had was improved cassava varieties, which included Perintis in 1988, a very high yielding variety, MM92 in 1992, which is an early variety. Cassava is normally harvested after 12 months, but MM92 could be harvested after 6 months and gave almost the same yield as other varieties at 12 months. Then there was Sri Pontian, which is an edible variety in 2003. Also in the same year, there were 2 other varieties, Sri Kanji 1 and 2 were released. These are starch varieties. And I was also involved in putting together complete production packages for cassava for growing in mineral salts and on drain feed. These are some of the press cuttings covering the varieties that I released, the 5 cassava varieties. I also released new improved sweet potato varieties, Gandut, which is a very nice eating variety in 1994, Telung and Jalomas in 2000, which are processing varieties for making sweet potato starch, and Vitato, which is a high beta-carotene, which is orange flesh variety in 2007, which can be used for a table variety and also processed into flour. I was also involved in putting together the production packages for sweet potato for growing on mineral soil, on drain peat, on acid sulfate soil, and on sandy soils, that is Bris, which is the sandy soils you find on east coast of Malaysia, Peninsular Malaysia. These are not the beach soils, they are actually what they call beach ridges interspersed with shale. That gives you the acronym Bris. They are a bit inland from the beach soils, so they are not saline, and also ex-mining land. So again, the press coverage for the 4 sweet potato varieties. For Vitato, we actually won a Platinum Award at the British Invention Fair. So also among my achievements, I should say, are publications. I have journal papers, 66 of them, conference presentation and proceedings, 115, popular articles, 57, books or chapters in books, 36, posters, 12, and lectures, 16. Now, what is the beauty of agriculture science? It's a healthy career. You get to work outdoors in fresh air and sunshine. It is hands-on and applied, and you work closely with living organisms. And if you choose, you also work with farmers. You understand and appreciate nature, the environment, and what is sustainability. And literally, you are able to see the fruits of your labor. And you can serve your country by producing food to satisfy food supply and to save foreign exchange by substituting food imports. With a career in research and development, you get the challenge of being able to look for solutions to real problems. There is no chance of feeling bored, as research topics are limitless as your own imagination. So what next? For those seeking a career in agriculture, these are the available courses today. There are 8 institutions of higher learning which offer a bachelor's degree in agriculture-related sciences. For example, UPM, University Putra Malaysia, University Technology Mara, University Malaysia Kelantan, University Sultan Zainal Abidin, University Tunku Abdul Rahman, University Malaysia Sarawak, University Malaysia Sabah, and University Pendidik Sultan Idris. There are also other available courses, not agriculture per se, but for example, some foreign and private institutions of higher learning offer bachelor's degrees in related fields. For example, University of Nottingham, Malaysia, you can do biotechnology and apply it to agriculture. Sailors College offers food science. Monash University, Malaysia offers food science and technology, which is also related to agriculture. Now, the traditional fields of specialization in agriculture can be in crop production, your whole list of disciplines like plant breeding, agronomy, horticulture, pest and disease management, where you can be an entomologist, pathologist, nematologist, or weed scientist. If you choose to do livestock production, you can do animal husbandry. You can be an animal nutritionist, looking at ruminants or non-ruminants. And then there's animal health, where you engage in pest and disease management. There's also aquaculture. Then you also have food science, where you can do food safety or food technology, which involves food post-harvest handling, processing, and new product development. Or you can look into food composition and the nutritional value of it. Agriculture engineering, if for those who like to work with machines, you can do field mechanization or mechanization in processing. But there are also new challenges now, and in the future, we have to look at things like climate change, shrinking accessibility to land and water resources, designer food for health, and feeding a rapid growing population in sustainable ways. So there are new emerging fields like crop production. Now we can look into resource management and conservation, biotechnology, which includes genetic engineering and molecular biology, intensive crop production, which takes into consideration automated greenhouse systems, organic and sustainable production systems, biofertilizers, and looking at the soil microbiome, biological control, looking at biopesticides, parasitoids, bacteria, and fungi instead of chemical pesticides to control pests and disease. In livestock production, we now even have cultured meat, or what they call clean meat, and recently even clean milk, vegetarian meat, insect protein, which is a meat substitute. Incidentally, people are looking at this because livestock production, especially the ruminants like beef, sheep, and goats, they produce a lot of greenhouse gases. So this is one way of protecting the environment, to not rear animals, but to look into alternatives in the lab. Then there's aquaponics, which combines fish and crop production. These are the production stages of clean meat. Muscle tissue is removed from a cow, and then from the stem cells, you can actually grow the cells in a lab. And as a muscle can be grown, and then it goes in the processor, and you come out with green meat, clean meat, and this is what you get. More like, I would say, minced meat. But now, recently, there's also people who have worked on producing the meat to look like cut meat, no? So there's one lab research institution which has produced steak, which looks like ribeye steak. So it's structured no longer in this sort of minced meat fashion, more acceptable to people who want to eat meat. There's also, as I mentioned, meat from insects. As you know, sago worm, eating sago worms is nothing new in Sarawak. It's also already a culture. People even eat it raw. But now they're coming to produce black soldier fly. They are actually eating the grubs, the maggots, rather than the fly itself. Then you have mealworms or crickets and locusts. These are all possible sources of insect protein. And as I mentioned just now, aquaponics, this is loosely described as a combination of aquaculture and hydroponics, which means you can grow plants, and then the food and decomposing food and waste from fish will go on to produce the nutrients for the plants. So the fish and plants can grow happily together. See, the fish excrete an ammonia, and the ammonia is converted into nitrates by bacteria, and the nitrites are converted to nitrates, and it goes to the plant. New emerging fields also include nanotechnology in food science and application technology to help in uptake of nutrients and absorption by the digestive system. Then there's artificial intelligence and machine learning, which involves robotics, drones, precision agriculture, smart agriculture like indoor farms, and blockchain systems which reduce food losses. Here we have the automated control environment greenhouses, which will overcome the problems of climate change, save a lot of labor because a lot of it is automated, and there's a precise what do you call that, application of fertilizers so they don't have wastage. So what are the career opportunities for people who want to consider agricultural science? First, there's the agriculture agencies such as chemical seed companies and plantations. You can also do research and development in institutions, in university and international research centers. That if you are people-centric, you can do extension services and consultancies. Those who want to teach, you can have a career in university and agricultural schools. Food companies are always looking for food technologists to do processing, new product development and nutraceuticals. You can even be self-employed. Many people who do agriculture science are now educated and very good farmers. As a modern, well-informed farmer, you can go into crop production, aquaculture, or flower nurseries. So this is my presentation. Thank you. I will take any questions if there are.